Welcome to the DK Project with host Darren Kahmeyer and Miss Natalie.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Well, I need to go. I need to go. I need you to say go.
Let's go! Welcome, podcast listeners. We are live with the DK Project. Kind of live. We'll go with live. And I've got Miss Natalie on the other end.
Yes, I'm here.
Happy Tuesday to you, lady. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Happy Tuesday.
It's good.
A little cloudy.
We're turning the corner. This bullshit rain. Oh, it's almost Memorial Day, and we're still wearing jackets. Come on.
Yeah, but that's pretty typical Minnesota, though.
It gave me a nice excuse not to deal with the fishing opener. Too cold, too rainy. I'm a sunshine and 70 opening day kind of guy.
But I thought that made for better fishing.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, they say that, although there is a hot spot I'm aware of. I'm taking the little dude out there very soon to get out there and knock him down. Hey, I got to jump in here with a reminder to all the podcast listeners. We're on the Bob Sansevier Network today, and I want them to remember to jump over to the DK Project. You can either go to the website or find us on iTunes, anywhere you get your podcast, and subscribe and follow us. We also do a Thursday show, which is a little bit longer and just as entertaining. And I want everybody to jump over and subscribe and leave us a good review. So now, back to our Tuesday program. Mm-hmm. So what have you been up to? I got to tell you, I had a little marathon this weekend that I'm a little bit embarrassed to divulge, but I'm going to do it anyway because I got to get it out there.
Do it. Unburden yourself. You're in a safe zone. This is the circle of trust.
Yeah, there you go. I think part of the way of getting past this is I have to actually announce it, and it happened on Saturday, and it was a long day, and the weather wasn't great, but I actually went on a little restaurant marathon run. I got 5 restaurants in one day.
Are you serious? What time of day did you start?
8:00. We started at the McDonald's, and I actually ate in the McDonald's. When does that happen? There's some days I used to do it a lot more when I was drinking. Is you need that sausage McMuffin to bring you back, and plus they're only $1. So this sounds like a real junkyard day, but I actually did okay. I mean,
what'd you have?
I had the one sausage McMuffin there. And then we rolled over to 50th and France, and I hit Barrio for lunch. One taco. What's one taco?
Oh, that's nothing. I didn't even know you could get one taco.
Killer ahi tuna taco. Yeah, they changed the whole place. You got to go. It's really good.
Wow.
So we did the one taco there, little chips and salsa, left there, headed over to the Muni.
Uh-huh. That's your new favorite place.
No, it's always been my favorite place. I'm just trying to go there enough so I can be considered a regular. But I just had a virgin Bloody Mary and some popcorn there. And here's some insider trading for those of you who don't drink and enjoy the Bloody Mary or two. Free refills. But you know what? The lady goes, I said, hey, how's about a pickle? And she goes, we only do pickles on Sunday. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So I had to go without a pickle, which really the pickle makes the drink. Although they make a mean Bloody Mary there. Anyway, I digress. From there, I went out to Delano to this King's joint, which was killer. It was really good. And
what's it called?
King's something. King's Court.
Huh.
I don't know. It was actually quite good, but we met a little local. He was the gym teacher for the Delano Tigers, and he was real cool. And then we found out that the fancy restaurant in Delano closed, and now it's like a pizza joint. So we rolled over there and rounded the night out with a little pizza, and it was okay. But I got to tell you, this is I wanted to discuss my 5 restaurant journey and why I'm on a weight loss program right now. But that place is called the King House. Yeah, I was close. So this pizza place, we roll in there, and it's kind of a younger group, and I'm not giving the name because I don't want to do that. But there's a lot of like employees that are eating in front of
Wha-
people.
While they're working, like while they're serving, or
Yeah,
while they're
kind of half
actually
in,
working?
half out. Then your pizza guy, they got that badass pizza thing with the big fancy shovel, and he's eating, and I'm like, come on, this isn't right. And then somebody come out of the back, and more. I don't know. It was weird, but there's also a little 21st birthday party going on, and you gotta remember those days. Holy crap!
Well, you could take that two ways, though, Darren. On one hand, it's not a bad sign when the employees are eating the food of the restaurant. Now, if they were there not eating pizza but had brought in Taco Bell or something else, I think it would be more strange.
Well, I think when you're in Delano, Taco Bell is a long shot. They've got a McDonald's there, I guess, but yeah, I guess you could look for it that way. I mean, that's generally what I look for when I go to a restaurant that I don't often frequent is, like if you have a, Asian restaurant or something, you kind of want to see who's eating there. Not that it's employees, but so I don't know. It was a 5-restaurant day. That's a record for me. I tell you, that's when I had to take a step back and go, wait a minute. I may have hit my low spot here. So I recovered all day Sunday. Didn't exactly work out, but I sensed that I did something wrong.
Are you seriously, though, on a diet now?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've started what we're calling the keto / Atkins diet. And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I eat keto, but without the dairy. And I do grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics in my protein sources.
Oh, come on. What do you just eat? Dirt? I'll take a half scoop for lunch today. I don't want the full scoop. I'm kind of full.
A crazy amount.
So what do you eat on this? What do you eat on this stupid diet or on this lifestyle change? What do you eat? Because the whole damn thing is dairy. I've eaten more cheese in the last 2 days, and I eat a lot of cheese. Holy snap.
No, I don't eat dairy. I try to apply what are called autoimmune protocol rules. So because I eat this way because, my whole Lyme disease thing, and it really helps me a lot. But so I'll eat. You ever hear of, what the game changer is? You got to find something like, have you ever heard of cassava flour?
No.
It's an actual root. I think it's from Brazil, but they can make these tortillas with it. So I'll fry one of those up. I'll put a scrambled egg on that, some avocado.
Hell yes.
And, some hot sauce and call it a day.
I think it's
that's
essentially
my typical breakfast.
Eggs, cheese, and avocado is what, boom, that's me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. But I don't do the cheese. I'll do goat cheese once in a while, but you'd be surprised. And then you have the unlimited resources for vegetables. I mean, if you
but
when
they
you
frown on the fruit.
Darren,
they frown on the fruit, but they're okay with the berry.
It's a smaller amount of fruit, but it also depends on why you're doing it. I'm not doing super low carb because I'm not doing it to lose weight. I'm doing it for the benefits, especially neurologically, so I can have more carbs. So I'll have a banana. I'll throw a banana in with my shake. I don't eat 3 bananas.
God, that's the hardest thing.
The key to focus on what you can have.
I am
don't
pro
focus
banana.
On what you're not eating.
I love banana.
You got to focus on what you are eating.
I might be part monkey. I am all about the banana. So that's going to be tough. I mean, that might be my cheat food right there. I'm halfway through the second day and I'm talking cheat food already. This is going well. How long have you been doing it?
Since January. My doctor actually put me on it in January, and it totally changed the game for me, health-wise.
I've been fighting the sugar. But I got that taffy problem. But I've kicked the taffy problem for the last, I bet I'm a month off taffy. And,
you got to get off the sugar. Sugar is the devil's powder.
It's everywhere. But my fitness guru that I consult on occasion, he says just get rid of the is it processed sugar where you're like, or not processed sugar, but like the candy and the taffy and the straight up sugar. Where if you have a little bit in this or that, it's not a big deal. So I'm down. No,
you got to read. You got to read the ingredients. My rule of thumb is if sugar's within the first 5 ingredients, I don't eat it, and I try to do as much whole foods as possible. So foods that are just naturally the way that they are. I'm going to cook a chicken. I'm going to make some steak.
Well, that was the other part of this that I heard the other day. I was listening to this comedian, which I can't remember who it was, but he's like, I'm on the caveman diet. If the food wasn't around when the cavemen were here, I ain't eating it.
Paleo.
Then it's like, oh, there's a name for it.
Yeah, it's the paleo diet.
Oh, All right. Well, anyway, so I'm kind of half paleo, half keto, non-taffy, pro-banana kind of a guy.
Well, I think you would do really good even if you did, paleo, which is not as restrictive on the carbohydrates. But the key, no matter what you do, is going to be portion control.
Ah.
But a big thing is getting out the sugar. Get out the sugar. Get out, take away the grains, take away the breads, all that stuff, and just eat whole,
That's
real
just horrible.
food.
You're just yelling at me right now, and I don't like it. This aggressive tone you've taken. Hey, you know what though? I was in to see my doctor for my old neurology lady, and she's like, "This is good, Mediterranean diet," and then it was basically keto, but she wouldn't call it that. So I'm finally taking her advice after a 6-month delay. And jumping on in. I went on that MetaFast diet. Listen to this. You see all these people on this MetaFast diet, and I went on it. I lost 70 pounds.
Wow.
I've got pictures where like good friends of mine would pull me aside and be like, "Dude, you okay?" Like they thought maybe I had some bad ailment because I was so skinny. It was gross.
So is that mainly portion control?
No, what that is, and that's why I like this diet. It's the same keto process, but they give you bars, shakes, and food, which tastes like shit. And it's got so much soy in it. I mean, it's all soy, and you know what soy does to men? Not good things.
Yeah, so, unless you want boobies.
But it just, well, and that's probably why I have boobies. So I was killing it and lost all this weight, and then I got real sick. Which I'm not saying was from MetaFast, but I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And boom, now I ballooned back up. And, but it could be the 5 restaurant days too. I don't know.
Well, eating like that, no matter what you do, you hit the nail on the head at the beginning. It's a lifestyle change. Oh. You can't do a diet.
You know what I did do?
Lifestyle change.
We've now started a new thing. I've got my senior graduating here on Sunday. And so I'm like, all right, until he leaves for college, every Sunday we're having dinner together. So they love this place called 10 Sushi. Shout out to 10 Sushi up in Maple Grove. And I followed up that 5 restaurant day with the biggest sushi run I've ever done. And that's when I knew it was time to get off the bus.
Yeah, man, you need an intervention.
But you know what I look at? If you follow The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, on Instagram, he's a machine. And every Sunday he has a plate of sushi that's as big as my table. And then he follows it up with like 15 cookies. So if he can do it, I can do it, right? That's what I tell myself.
Yeah, not to burst your bubble here, though, Darren, but I'm pretty sure The Rock has a physical workout regimen that he probably also follows on top of this.
No, he's not working out, is he?
So you can't just do. You just can't do the.
I can't just choose the meal plan. I have to do the rest of it. That's BS. Oh,
You let me know how it works for you.
Well, I can tell you how it works. I jumped on the scale today, and it said not good. It didn't even give me a number. It just said it's time. Yeah, so I don't know. I think for the health reasons and whatnot, my family history sucks. So I need to straighten her up now before we get in too deep.
Yeah, you really have to. Just change the habits. People, I hear often, well, how do you eat like that? Or I couldn't live without sugar. And I'm like, well, do you like living with hypertension? Or do you like living with pain? Or all these other elements that people have? We got to make choices.
I hear that.
See, you just need me as a coach to tell you what to do.
Well, that's why we're paying you the big bucks, is for the coach.
That's right.
Hey, I want to talk. I got a new sponsor I got to bring up.
Nice.
It's the Yarn Barn in Excelsior. If you're looking for yarn, there's no other place to go. If you're out there on your boat and you have nothing else to do and you need some yarn, swing on into Excelsior to the Yarn Barn.
It is not called the Yarn Barn.
What?
It is called Lakeside Yarn.
That's what it says on the check.
It's a store in Excelsior on Water Street.
What do you know that I don't know?
I know that, and one thing you may not know about me is that I am a closet knitter, but I only do hats with this loom that makes it easier. And I've gotten yarn from Lakeside Yarn in Excelsior on Water Street, and I just found out that they closed and they're going to reopen as a new place called
Come on.
BE at Lakeside, or B at Lakeside. I'm not sure what it stands for. Same kind of business, but under different ownership.
So I better get that check to the bank rapido, huh?
Yeah, because I don't know about that.
I
A lot of changes, though. We talked before about a lot of new shops opening. And
actually, the Yarn Barn is what's taken over for Lakeside Yarn. It's the new thing. That's my sponsor. Do you know how big of a it's like a running store in Excelsior we talked about last week? Long shot. But if you got yarn, come on. Do you have your own loom? Let's get this out in the open.
No, it's not a loom.
Come
it's
on.
a round. It's called a hat loom. It's this round piece of plastic that you use to make the hats. And I do it mainly in the wintertime.
So not only do you
I'm a grandma now, man.
spin yarn, you cheat to make a hat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna expect a scarf with a DK Project logo right on the little deal.
Well, that's a little above my pay grade.
Come on, challenge yourself. They're doing classes over at the Yarn Barn. You can swing in there Monday through Friday. Tell them Darren sent you.
Well, when they reopen, I just might. They've helped me a few times.
When you just go in knotted up or what?
Yeah, or just go in and just say, hey, I'm trying to make this. What do you recommend? There's so many different types. It's a whole nother world, man. But it's really good it's a repetitive motion. So I liken it to doing those Sudoku puzzles, which I will not do because I don't like math.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of emotion that really keeps the mind sharp.
Okay.
You might want to take it up.
And with that, I think we're going to go to break. Hey, when we come back, as long as we're in the sewing segment, I've got a really nice sewing story to tell you.
Can't wait.
Right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by the Lost Lake Creamery, old-fashioned ice cream parlor, located at 5575 Shoreline Drive in Mound, Minnesota, just off the Dakota Bike Trail and the Lost Lake Channel on the north end of Cooks Bay of Lake Minnetonka. Stop in and see them today. 24 flavors to choose from. Pick up some ice cream on the way to the lake or on your way home from the lake. The Lost Lake Creamery, old-fashioned ice cream parlor. Hey everyone, it's Darren from the DK Project. I want to tell you about my outdoor living space. I contacted NRD Landscape a few years ago, and they came out and helped me with the design and build of my outdoor dream space. I've actually used NRD on my last 2 projects, and both went better than expected. The team at NRD were so helpful throughout the whole process from design to completion. I mean, let's face it, the process is difficult to design and build your outdoor space. Why not bring in the pros at NRD Landscape? Whether you've been thinking about it for a while or you're just starting the process, contact NRD Landscape Design to get your project to the next level. Don't let another summer pass you by. Check them out on the web, nrdlandscape.com, or give them a call at 952-212-2665 and tell them you heard it on the DK Project. All right, and we're back. Welcome back to the second segment of the show. Before we went to commercial, I was telling you about this crazy sewing adventure I had, which I'll sum up in a short version as my wife went on this rampage and thought she wanted to be a quilter. That's a real thing.
A quilter.
Yeah.
Totally is.
So what do you do when you're a quilter? You got to have a big-ass sewing machine so that you can quilt. So I find the sewing machine, and it was $35,000, and it was, 16 feet long. And luckily, I had space in my room for such an animal. And we buy it, we get it in there, they come over, they install it all, blah, 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 blah. You got to go to training. Went to training, and this was back when I was consuming heavy amounts of the beers. And we found this little speakeasy in Janesville, Wisconsin. So the wife was at training, and I'm in the bar training these other people on how to just get after it. And actually had a really good time at the training. Never printed a damn thing on the machine. And I ended up getting out of it, only losing like $1,000. So I thought it was a win. But man alive, I tell you, that was a beast of a machine. And there's people that are into it. These quilting has taken off. And I'm sure my listeners are very interested in where they can find out more about yarn or quilting. This is the place. This is the place. So anyway, what do you got coming up? You got a race for the Phillies? Tell me about this.
Yeah, so there is Hope Chest for Breast Cancer is an organization where...
Ooh, that's out by me.
That's out by you. They resell all kinds of things for the home, clothes to raise money to help families going through breast cancer treatment. They have this annual event they're doing called the Phillies Race for Hope. Over at, weren't you just telling me the other day, too, about your love of Canterbury Park?
Yes, Canterbury.
Yes. So it's the Phillies Race for Hope. It's June 2nd. Starts at 11:30, goes till 5. People can get tickets at hopechest.com. General admission is free, but you can get VIP tickets that are going to take you to some fun areas. It's recommended that women wear pink. You get to wear a wild hat. There's going to be all kinds of activities and, on top of the horse racing.
Wait a minute. It's real. I thought when you were saying this was like a 5K or something you're doing. This is actual horses racing.
Okay, first off, Darren, you've met me. What about me says?
Well, that's why I thought it was going to be awesome to see you do a 5K. Oh man, but now I'm interested because now we can gamble.
Watch the horsies.
So, you get to pick sponsor a horse, or how does that work?
I'm not sure how. I'm sure there's going to be some type of betting, but there's thoroughbred and quarter horse racing, a raffle, silent auction, a celebratory salute to survivors, food, all kinds of refreshments, face painting, pony rides.
Wow!
So you could probably bring the kiddos.
And they've really done it up out there at Canterbury. I haven't been there in a while. Last time I went, it was dollar beer night, and that was a long time ago. So I almost need to get over there. That might be a nice reason to sneak back over to the track.
Yeah, people can get tickets through hopechest.com. Again, it's June 2nd, 11:30 to 5 at Canterbury Park.
Well,
we'll
put a link in the deal, the explanation of the podcast. I don't know what you call that, so that people can find it. Because we need everybody to get in on that and raise as much money as we can.
Yeah, you can raise money and have a lot of fun at the same time.
I like it. That's coming up June 2nd.
June 2nd, Phillies Race for Hope.
That's awesome.
Hopechest.com.
Hey, and you wanted to talk a little bit of Lyme disease?
A little bit. You know what? It's Lyme Awareness Month in May, so we can't let it totally slip by without just a little couple quick minutes. It's something I've been battling for 9 months or so now. But I actually contracted. It was the gift Minnesota gave me over 20 years ago when I moved here, and I didn't know. And
really?
I was misdiagnosed for many, many years.
How did you find out?
I found out last year when I started getting sick. I was getting numbness in my extremities, in my nose of all places. I was getting these random sharp pains. I was really fatigued. And I went into the doctor, and that kind of started the ball rolling. But I couldn't walk last fall.
Are you walking now?
Now I'm walking now. I found a phenomenal doctor, got the proper treatment for me, and treatment will be years. It'll be an ongoing
How do they
thing.
test for that?
There are a couple tests they can do. There's a test called the Western blot, which is the standard. The unfortunately thing is it's notoriously not accurate because it tests for antibodies and not for the bacteria.
Come
itself.
on.
Yep. And Minnesota and Wisconsin were a hotbed for Lyme disease.
What's the tick thing, right? Deer ticks?
Yep, deer tick. So, if you get bit, bullseye rash, you need to go into your doctor right away. If you're having, there are so many resources online where you can get educated about it. But when you look into it and you find out how underdiagnosed it is in where we live here in Minnesota and how many people are not getting the proper treatment, it's going to blow your mind and make you just incredibly infuriated.
Well, this is Lyme Awareness Month.
It is. You can go to, I think it's TwinCitiesLyme.org. Just take to Dr. Google and just start finding out about it because you need to know, and you got to take precautions when you're outside.
Yeehaw. I don't know. I'm tired. My arm gets a little numb now and again. My nose never gets numb, though. What is nose numbness?
So it's neurological for a lot of people. Mine was what they call neurological Lyme, and that's why it affected my ability to walk. I lost my sense of taste. I had Bell's palsy. I had, confusion. I couldn't remember conversations that happened even seconds ago, and that's part of why I'm on this special diet now. So it's part of my overall treatment plan. But you can learn a lot more about it. Like I said, TwinCitiesLyme.org. I encourage everybody to get educated because if it's not watching out for yourself, you might meet someone. Darren, if I did not know there were 2 women in my life who dealt with neurological Lyme, if they didn't tell me to advocate for myself, to seek another opinion, to find a specialist outside of my primary,
dig a little
I probably
deeper,
still would not be walking.
Wow, that's crazy.
You got to find the right doctor. You got to find a Lyme literate doctor or an integrative medicine doctor, someone who has experience with it.
Wow. All right, there you go.
That's my Lyme plug.
Lyme Awareness Month.
Yep, May.
All right, I'm gonna try a difficult transition here. But are you watching any of this Gophers girls softball?
No,
Come
I didn't even know it was on.
I know how you're a big sports nut. Yes, the girls Gopher softball team are in the big show here. They had a long weekend because of the damn rain, because they've 7th seed and they got home field advantage. So there was actually games being played here locally that affect the whole region. So it was pretty interesting, and they ended up winning the region. Now they go to the Super Regional, which is also here. Yeah, this is big, and it starts Friday.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually, you should check it out, because the ESPN does a channel where you can watch like 4 games at once. They just bounce around, and they do it really kind of nicely so that you can stay informed with everything that's going on. And if you've never watched girls college softball, it's, the field's a little shorter, the bases are closer, the pitching is obviously closer than baseball, and it's really a lot of fun to watch because they hit a lot of home runs, and it moves real fast. So
I played adult female softball. For a hot minute.
I look at you more of a kickball person than a softball person.
Oh, kickball's my jam. I'm just not a fan of all the running.
Or maybe more of a lawn jart kind of person. So let's talk about this brief stint. Was this a collegiate thing, or were you just on a beer league?
It was, I guess it would be more like a beer league. There's a local shop in Excelsior, Amor Infide. They do they have a softball team that they sponsor. And I think I played one game and realized it's not for me. I'm a fast runner, but I have no endurance.
Yeah, well, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. And you know what? Actually, the big problem was, and I got a little chastised for it. They were making me, and I don't even know the game that well. I was the behind the plate person. Is that the catcher?
Oh, Bob's shaking his head.
Apparently, you're not supposed to cheer on the other team. So ladies would come up to bat, and I would be like, hey, good job, or you can do it, looking good.
You're off the team.
That's pretty much what happened.
Off the team. Well,
I'm more cheerleader than player.
you hear it all here on the DK Project. We went from a record-setting restaurant run of eating to yarn, Lyme's disease, and rounded it out with softball.
Yeah.
And
we have no boundaries.
If anybody has any video or pictures of Natalie behind the plate cheering on the other team, I'd love to get my hands on it. But we need to wrap this up. So until next Tuesday, we will chat then. Everybody remember, we got a Thursday show. Go to the DKProjectPodcast.com or find us on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe and follow us to see where the adventure goes from here. Natalie, we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, thedkprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.